Hey everybody, today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite things, which is improvising on the piano. So what I was just doing was totally making it up, and it's really easy, and I think by the end of this video, you'll have a lot of really good ideas on how you can do it yourself. So in music, especially classical music, and when you take piano lessons, improv is something we almost never talk about, so it's something that with my students, I'm sure to talk about it often, because we're given pieces of music that we have to play exactly as the composer intended, exactly how your teacher told you. If you make a mistake, you're embarrassed at the recital. And so I'm here to tell you that all of that is good, but there's a whole different avenue that we can travel in music. And it starts with improv, and it leads to songwriting and self-expression and composition. And all it is being able to sit at the piano and hear something in your mind, not even in your mind, but just having the tools to just make something up. Not even that was anything crazy good. There's no right way or wrong way to do it. You just play on the piano and you make things up. So in this video, I'm going to give you 3 chords to play in the left hand, and they're called 2-5-1s. They're very common jazz and pop, and even classical music, like Bach uses these all the time, style of playing music. And it's a great chord progression that we can have and use in our improv. And then in the right hand, we're going to be learning about what's called the Pentatonic Scale, which we should know, but the reason why these two things work together so well as a place to start improvising is if you know what the pentatonic scale is, all the notes always sound good together. You cannot play a wrong note. And as long as you know these 3 chords, you can play exciting chord progressions to accompany your melody. So improv in music is very abstract. We don't know where to start. It's weird because music is a very raw form of self-expression where if you play wrong notes, it's embarrassing and you're not doing it right. You're not learning well. So we don't want to do things that risk us being wrong. Whereas in other art forms, maybe like actually drawing or being a creative writer or a photographer, there's a little bit more leeway. But in the same way that these artists operate, we need to take on that as piano players and as musicians a little bit. So just like an artist will sit at a blank canvas and just create something, that's kind of what we are going to be learning how to do today. Playing a classical piece of music would be like filling in the lines out of a coloring book. You can kind of pick the colors and you can change things, but fundamentally the shape of the art's going to be the same. Whereas improvising is taking a blank piece of paper and you get to create whatever you want. So one of my favorite creative exercises to do in music is almost by limiting yourself, you give yourself more options. So just looking at this piano, it's huge. Where do we start? So say you're an artist, you could limit yourself to using a pencil and one color of your choice, and you have to make a whole art piece just using that. You're limiting yourself so that way you can actually dive more into expression. There's lots of cool ways of doing this. Say you're a writer and you have to tell a whole story, but you only have 300 words. Or another cool one, say you're a writer or a poet and you want to write a whole story, but you only give yourself 10 minutes. So whatever you get at the end of the 10 minutes, we're putting a ceiling so that way we know where to start and we have like the tools that we need. So for this exercise, and this is a little 2-5-1 exercise that I just created this morning before making this video. It probably exists somewhere. I wouldn't say I invented it. But the first thing we're going to learn in the left hand, I'll put the music down here for you. In the left hand, we're going to be playing 7th chords for this. There will be an easier way to do it that I'll actually talk about in the lesson, but I think we can do this. It's not too bad. So all the 7th chord is, say we start somewhere, we just skip up 3 more times, skip over the note. And we're doing this in the key of C, so it's all white notes, and it's easier for us to see what's going on. So we have a D, either with your 4th finger or your 3rd finger, depending on the size of your hand. We'll just play that F, A, C. So you can see that that C is right below the D. And if you've played piano before, you probably know that's a D minor chord. All we're doing is adding that 7th for that extra little color. So we have a D minor 7th chord. To get to the next chord that we're using is a G dominant 7 chord. We're going to keep the D and the F down here. Our A and C just move down to G and B. So you can see that like there's a finger closing position. We're open, we close. And then the last chord that we're going to land on is a C major 7, which actually we keep our top 2 fingers in place this time and we move the bottom 2 down. So we go from D, F, G, B to C, E, G, B. And then we just step the whole pattern up to go back to where we started. And rhythmically, the way that we're going to do this is we're going to give 1 bar to each of the first chords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 bars to the last one. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 and 3, 4, 1. And see how just like that, I was already starting to create some intrigue. So in regards to the left hand, if you want to make it easier, just play the root notes. Put your hand in a C major position right here, C, D, E, F, G. And all we're going to do is go D, G, C. And that actually works just as fine. Check it out. If I wanted to improvise above that. I'll show you what I was doing with my right hand in a second, but see, we can limit those left hand notes to something really easy, just 3 notes. Where this can start to get kind of cool if you want to get adventurous with your left hand, you can play the whole block chord and start to add rhythms. The easiest way to do it at first would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1. And then from there, you can just take some away maybe. 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Or let's try to take another one away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Kind of like that. Putting it on the offbeats where it sounds really cool. So say you do it like 1 and. That's our offbeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But now we take away our strong beats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's just how we can use the block chords to make some rhythmic intrigue, but also just breaking the notes up. Make wrong notes. The fun thing about improvising, there's not really a right or wrong note. We are creating a box to play in, but if you play wrong notes, it doesn't really matter. For this, we call this a 2-5-1, and I'll just express it this way. If we're in the key of C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're playing the D chord, which is the 2 chord in the key. Go to the G, C, D, E, F, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're on the 5 chord. C is the 1 chord. 2, 5, 1. Alright, let's talk about the right hand. We're going to be learning what's called the pentatonic scale. This is like the oldest scale to exist in music. Archaeologists have found like bone flutes and stuff that use this exact same pentatonic scale from like thousands of years ago. So, we're in the key of C. We're going to start on C. So typically in a major scale or any scale. So this is the Ionian major. In this scale, there's 2 half steps. And these are the half steps. They don't sound good. In the music, we call this dissonance. So say I played a whole tone scale. None of these notes are dissonant. They all sound nice together. But if I played like threw some half steps in there, these are where our dissonance in music come from. So if I'm playing, not every note's going to always sound good together. And that would be like a singer singing and their note is flat. So they don't sound nice. But when we use the pentatonic scale in the correct context, there is no wrong notes. So by playing these notes, we're eliminating our half steps. An easy way to do this, and if you ever want to impress your friends, the F sharp pentatonic scale is actually just all the black notes. So therefore, by just playing the black notes, you actually can never play a wrong note. So you could just like play an F sharp or really any black chord. I'm literally just making that up. Anything you play on the black notes will sound good because there's no way to play anything that sounds dissonant. Always going to sound nice. So in a C major scale, E and F, there's a dissonance there. So we're actually going to remove the F completely from the scale. So we just go C, D, E. We skip F completely because we're just taking the dissonance out. We go to G, A. So check this out. Between B and C, there's this ugly dissonance. So we're just going to take the B out of the scale. So we're just removing B and F, which also make a tritone. So we're removing the tritone option from our scale. So the pentatonic scale is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, just like that. In the key of C, C, D, E, G, A, C, and that's the whole scale. When you play it, the fingering's actually not gonna matter. You can finger it however you want, but an easy way to do it is just do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you just move up to the G, just like that. It's really that easy to play a pentatonic scale. So when we improvise music, the whole point of it is to make these like melodies that people can hear what's going on. And the way that limiting ourselves to these 5 notes kind of creates a cool melody is sometimes we have to maybe change the rhythms or play the dynamic that we're playing. So I could literally play these 2 notes, just like that, E, C, E. So what if I had to make a melody just using those 2 notes? Maybe I could repeat one of the notes and then use the other one for like an emphasis. See how I was changing the volume in which I played it? So let's say I added these chords and I just have these 2 notes to play. How would I improvise around that? See how I did that? And I don't know if it sounds good or if it's something that you'll like, but it was fun. I had fun doing it. That's the whole point of this. So by changing the way we play it, we can make 2 notes sound like a lot more. Some composers will challenge themselves to write a 1-note melody piece. So say I only have 1 note. Let's pick the G. There's another G. Let's try it on this one. So literally just using 1 note, we can make a melody. So let's just see what happens if we take the first 3 notes, and I'll just play the basic chords that we had already learned. So that we can just play. One thing that's cool here is we have combinations now that we can use. So there's 1 color, there's another color, there's a third. We have 3 combinations of note colors. All right, let's add all of them in. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about creating themes that have, we can either do themes with similar values where the rhythm, see how I'm keeping that same ba-da-da-dum, and I'm just moving it around. Same rhythm, ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum, do-do-do-dum. So let's see what that sounds like, keeping that same motif of that little rhythm. All right, and then what I did at the end was I changed it a little bit so to show that, oh, here's where the melody's going now. Another cool thing you can do is have a long notes followed by fast notes. I don't know, I'm just coming up with ideas on the spot because I like improvising. It's a lot of fun. So let's do some long melodic notes. See how, and then I threw in some fast notes after it. Here's the other cool thing. This is where we were playing our pentatonic scale. We can move it anywhere on the piano, those sequence of notes. So let's see what that would sound like. I'll keep my left hand right here on the home bass. Ooh, I threw it a B, I'm sorry. So that's just something that's a lot of fun for me. You can throw in ornamentals. One thing that just sounds so good is arpeggiating through those shapes. Let's add a little bit more intrigue in our left-hand notes as far as like how we're playing those and see how that sounds together. Oops. Ooh, I threw in a wrong note. Well, a wrong note. I threw in a B natural. Yeah, whatever. So just give that a try. And like I said, the easier version of this would just be to play that D, G, C, just like that. All right, so the whole first part of this video was just expressing yourself. The whole point of this is that I want you guys as students, as piano players, as learners, to feel confident that you can sit down on the piano and just have fun. You don't need sheet music in front of you all the time. You don't need to be rehearsing or practicing repertoire or feeling stuck in a box. You can explore. The whole point of being a musician is to have fun and express ourselves. So now I'm just going to give a quick exercise on how we can kind of hone in this skill. I'm just going to do it in the key of C today. So there's obviously going to be like 12 of these total. And then if you include the minor scales, there'd be 24. So if you're interested in a video of me just going through all these exercises so you can practice along, and I'll notate at the bottom what the notes are so you can see what it is. If literally one person comments that they want that, I will make another video. So comment down below while you're doing it, like and subscribe to the video, and let's get into this exercise. So all we're gonna do is play this, and on top we're just gonna play our pentatonic scale. So 1 and 2 and 3, and we're gonna be playing in 3/4. I'm literally making this up as I go. We're gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and see how we're just climbing up through it on each one. And in the right hand we're just doing 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 C D E G A C, just like that. Just play the chord with each one, and each one gets 3 beats. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2. Here's how we're gonna turn around. We're gonna play the top again, play this, and then we're right back into it. So we're gonna play 2 C's in a row. And that'll be the whole exercise right there. So like I said, we're just in the key of C. Say you wanted to transpose to the next one. So we'll be in the key of D flat. This will be the major one that we'll be playing. So we want to play this E flat minor 7 chord. See, this is where I'm saying it gets a little trickier if you don't know all your scales and keys and chords. So this will be our first chord. The way we would go down like this, and then, yeah, there we go. So it'll be in, like I said, I'm kind of making this up too. That's not it. So that would be if we transpose it into the key of D flat major. And then the pentatonic scale on D flat. Just like that. So see how much more challenging that gets just by that. So the same exercise would look like this. Let's see, this is my first time trying it actually. There we go. And then you would just repeat it over and over again. So we wanted to play in the key of D. Yeah, here's the key of D. So we just transpose it up one time. Our minor 7 to the A to the D, just like that. Same thing, but by learning it in different keys, no matter who you're playing with, it just gives you more options. You can just keep it in the key of C. if you want, but we get all these different colors and feelings by traveling around the piano. There we go. Let's see what this sounds like in the key of D. Alright, so literally if one person comments that they're interested, I will make a video breaking down every single key with sheet music included. So it'll just be like one of those videos where I'm just playing through all of them. You can pause the video and there'll be like sheet music and stuff accompanying it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love making stuff like this because I want people to know that music is fun. One of the main reasons I play music and why I do music for my job is because it's fun and I like it. I do like learning like classical repertoire and stuff, but sometimes I just like sitting down and playing whatever I want to play. And this really helps a lot because sometimes, so like a couple weeks ago, I played for a middle school choir. I was their piano accompanist, and I'm not the best sight reader in the world. So oftentimes, if I feel myself getting off track, I can read the music well enough to know what is going on, and I know improvising well enough where I could just kind of make up an equivalent piece of music to it. So by using my ear and hearing where we're at with the choir, I could just make stuff up if I ever got off of the sheet music. So it is a really, really integral skill for a musician to have. And once you start improvising and stuff, you start to notice patterns that exist in music. So then when you are learning Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, all these Schubert, whomever, you start to notice, oh wait, these are patterns. And you start to notice, wait a second, Schubert's impromptus, he's improvising these. And he just wrote them down afterwards, but they're all improvised pieces. So it is a really integral skill that we just kind of neglect sometimes as musicians. So thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, comment down below if you're interested for a part 2. One person is all it takes to make it happen. Subscribe to my channel. It would really mean so much. I'm still a pretty small YouTuber, so I love connecting with people and building a community with other musicians. So let me know what you're practicing. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know what you want to learn. Even this summertime, I'm making this video in June. Musicians' work kind of slows down in the summertime, so if you have any video requests, I would love to make content just for you. With all that said, see you guys next time. Good luck practicing.